and welcome back to the Ariel Views. I'm Ariel. If you didn't already know, my boyfriend and myself are travel nurses and we have just taken our first travel assignment in the state of Virginia. We have a few videos up already about our first month here, our journey here, and a few other travel nurse videos. So if you haven't seen those already, please check them out. I'll leave the link somewhere around. And somehow we got blessed with a whole 7 days off until we have to go back to work. So what do adventurous people do with 7 days off and in a brand new state to explore? You guessed it, we're gonna go exploring. We decided to explore Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown. Lots of history and lots of things to see there. We're gonna spend 3 to 4 days there exploring all those little towns, and then we're gonna head to Virginia Beach, which is about an hour away. We're really excited to have these 7 days off and to explore more of Virginia. I feel like we might have bitten off more than we can chew with this trip. It's kind of what we do all the time. But hopefully we'll be okay. We are gonna get some caffeine before our drive and we're gonna head out. We've made it to Williamsburg. We had to take a little nap because we were absolutely exhausted from our drive and from working last night. The last 3 nights actually. So I'm not entirely sure where we are at the moment. We just woke up and realized we needed food, but there's a lot of really cute shops, buildings, and I'm excited to not get run over. And I'm excited to show you guys more of where we're at right now.
We are at Amber Rocks, Natural Brewery. It's really nice.
Good morning. We have made it to Colonial Williamsburg. Last night we had some dinner and just completely and totally knocked out. So apologies that we didn't really film much yesterday. But today it's bright and early and we are gonna spend the day exploring Colonial Williamsburg. We're gonna get some much needed coffee at a place called Yorktown Cafe. They say you need a good day to explore everything here, so we will take you along for the ride. We just finished a deliciously amazing breakfast at Yorktown Cafe. Now we are walking to one of the ticket offices to get some tickets for a carriage ride, which is one of the big attractions here in Williamsburg. You take like a little horse and carriage ride throughout Colonial Williamsburg. We want to do that first so we can kind of get a lay of the land because we really have no idea how big Colonial Williamsburg is or where things are. If you didn't know, Colonial Williamsburg is considered a living history museum, which means there's a lot of actors here that are dressed up in the colonial costumes. First thing that we have learned so far here today is to get to the ticket office early because those carriage rides book up super fast. It is now 10:20-ish and the earliest carriage ride is at 3. We're fine with that. We're gonna kind of follow the map that they gave us here and just walk around the area, stop at all the really cool buildings, and then we'll make our way back to the ticket office, take our carriage ride. Just went through the Wythe House, which is one of the 88 original structures here in Colonial Williamsburg, and we learned that the owner of this house was the first professor of law in the United States, which is really neat, and he taught at the College of William and Mary, which is just down the road, at the first law school in the United States. There's just a little tour through the bottom floor of that house, and they kind of explain to you how his wife was really instrumental in running the house. Basically told us that in order to live in this type of house during that time, you kind of have to be a little rich. So that was our first stop so far on Palace Green Street, and we're gonna keep walking down this area. Just finished here at the Governor's Palace. It took us about an hour and a half to get through just because we were really taking our time and enjoying the sights and taking pictures. There's a little bit of a tour that goes through the inside of the palace. The original structure of this building did burn down in the 1700s. I don't remember the exact date, unfortunately, but they did rebuild it. Lots of governors have lived here. Lots of historical figures have lived here.
It was really interesting. It's really nice that they actually have someone explaining the history, living here, what they did, the functions of each room. Instead of going into a building and reading, you have someone explaining and you're able to ask questions.
have finished exploring Colonial Williamsburg. We just took a really cool carriage ride. So we are gonna make our way out of Colonial Williamsburg and into Merchant Square where we were this morning. We're gonna grab some food because we haven't eaten since this morning. Today was an incredible day, lots of history. We're even still trying to get it straight because it's a lot to know, it's a lot to remember. When you come to Colonial Williamsburg, you're basically learning about the period from the 1690s to the 1790s. So that's important to remember when you're exploring the historic triangle, because Jamestown seems to be the beginning because Jamestown is where this all started. Colonial Williamsburg seems to be kind of in the middle, and Yorktown is towards the end where they highlight the Revolutionary War. We're still trying to get it straight, but so far it's been great. Everybody here has been really informative. The only thing I will say, unfortunately, is that it seems like a lot of the buildings are closed due to COVID. They are very small, so they have a lot of them closed for our safety, but you can still walk around, and that is free. In order to get into some of the museums, the palace, capitol, and some of the gardens, you do need a ticket, but otherwise, if you want to just walk up and down the streets, you can do that without purchasing a ticket. So I'm trying to conserve my camera battery because we decided to walk to the College of William and Mary and take a picture on the Crimdell Bridge, which there is a legend that if two lovers kiss at the crest of the bridge, they will be together forever. So I'm dragging him over here, and it's actually about to be sunset, so it should be really pretty. Campus is really beautiful. I'll insert some video here. This is the second oldest university college in North America. On our way to the bridge. We made it! Took some epic shots here on the Crimdell Bridge. So beautiful, perfect time of day to come. I'll put those pictures in here, and if you're ever in the area, make sure you check out this bridge. It's really beautiful. Now we are officially ending this day here in Williamsburg. We will see you tomorrow in Yorktown. Good morning, and welcome to another day in the historic Triangle of Virginia. We woke up semi-early today and are now spending our morning at York River State Park. There's a ton of hikes here at this state park. It is $5 to park here. Our plan is to hike to Fossil Beach. Had a delicious lunch at Yorktown Pub where Oscar got his seafood fix for now, and I got just like fish and chips, I guess. We have driven to the Yorktown battlefield, and there is a self-guided driving tour through Yorktown battlefield where they give you a map at the National Park Service Visitor Center. You can download an app called Yorktown Tour Guide. It tells you where to stop. The map isn't in chronological order, so you do kind of have to like go back and forth. But we're really excited because it's pretty cold outside. We're in the warm vehicle, and we get to stop at all the cool little spots on the way. We're finishing up the Yorktown battlefield tour, and we are almost at the end. It's really cool because everything is in chronological order from the way it happened at the actual battle, the days leading up to the surrender of the British Army. So the Moore House is where both opposing parties came to negotiate terms for surrender. So this is a huge part of American history and winning our independence. It was all made here in this house. Obviously, it's been reconstructed over the years. According to the little sign outside, it was heavily damaged during the Civil War. It was used for firewood. And in the 1930s, the National Park Service took it over. It is now on this lovely historical tour that we've been on.
This field, it might be said, the United States of America was born.
Finished our tour of Yorktown battlefield. We stopped at the Yorktown Victory Monument, and now we are on our way to the American Revolutionary War Museum. So we're gonna check that out for a little bit and then head back to the waterfront, get some coffee, some snacks. All right, adios.
We were treated as slaves. The flames of war once kindled often spread far and wide, and the mischief is
finished our tour at American Revolution Museum, and it was really cool. It takes a while to get through the museum, and I think we got there like at 2:30 or something like that, and the museum closes at 5. We were taking our time through the first few galleries, and then towards the end we were realizing that we only had like 45 minutes left and we hadn't gone to the outside portion, which shows you kind of what the American Army camp would have looked like. Those tents are small, and it's cold today, so I can only imagine how freaking cold it was for them during that time. We are excited to go to Jamestown settlement tomorrow. For now, we're just strolling down Yorktown Beach and the Riverwalk, and then tonight we booked
A ghost tour.
coming to you from the future. Haven't talked about the ghost tour that we went on last night. It was really cool. It was really informative. I was really nervous to go on this thing, but it actually ended up not being too scary, mostly just stories. The one house that did scare us was the Peyton Randolph house, which they call the most haunted house in America. Good morning and welcome to day 3 of our exploration of the historic triangle in Virginia. We have made our final stop here on our little tour, and that's at Jamestown Settlement. This is a museum. They actually have ships in the back where you can see what the ships looked like in 1607 when the first settlers came to America. There are lots of exhibits about the Native Americans, how that played out in history, and then you can actually go to the actual site of where they are currently digging up the spot where Jamestown was in 1607. So much history, so much information about everything. You're learning about what's going on in Africa at the time. You're learning about the origins of the slave trade. You're learning about everything that's happening in Jamestown. You learn about the history of England. You learn about Portugal and Spain and how all of them tie together and how Jamestown came to be and how it burned down. I would definitely recommend allowing yourself at least a few hours there. I think we were there for like 3 hours. Yeah. You can also tour the living history of Jamestown. So they've actually created a fake Jamestown where they have live actors doing actual blacksmith work, carpentry work. You can also explore the ships that came here in 1607. A lot of the areas of the ship were closed, I think because they're close quarters and COVID, of course. Still a really awesome experience. And now we've come to historic Jamestown, where the actual site of Jamestown was. It is an active archaeological dig site. have spent all day learning about Jamestown and we are thoroughly exhausted. We are going to make our drive to Virginia Beach, where we will be for the next 3 nights. I'm gonna go ahead and end out this video of our experience in the historic triangle of Virginia. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you stay tuned for the next video of us in Virginia Beach.